Within 30 seconds of the start of the match, the umpire sends a clear signal that the ball-body contact rule will not be observed as written. All ball-body contact will be penalised as if an offence. There was no intention and no advantage gained here. A correct restart should have been with a sideline ball. Here a Netherlands player breaches two rules, neither of which are penalised. First, the obstruction rule. He's shielding the ball with his leg, which is part of his body. The obstruction rule says that players must not obstruct an opponent who is attempting to play the ball. Players obstruct if they shield the ball from a legitimate tackle with their stick or any part of their body. I've replaced from with to prevent, which was a previous wording of the rule and which makes a lot more sense. This is because if the ball is shielded, it may not be possible to make a legitimate tackle. That is a tackle that is not in breach of Rule 9.13, which forbids tackling from a position where body contact will occur. Having shielded the ball and drawn the stick of the Australian attacker, the Netherlands player then lifts the ball towards the Australian player, which is an offence contrary to Rule 9.9. The Australian player parries the ball, but it goes out of play off the sideline. When I first saw the next bit of play, I was astonished that the umpire did not award a penalty stroke and a yellow card. I still don't understand it. Moving to position between the ball and an opponent and backing in from the Netherlands player, or barging from the Australian player. Both occurred, but the foul by the Netherlands player was the first one. But neither action was penalised. This obstruction from the Australian player, followed by the manufacture of an obstruction from his opponent, is typical of the niggly sort of physical play engaged in by the Australian team throughout the match. Here we have a backsticks offence by the Australian player, which the umpire has no chance at all of seeing because the ball is shielded from him by the body of a defender. The umpire's view in this incident was also blocked, but instead of accepting that his view was blocked and he might have been wrong, he refused to accept any correction. But it can be quite clearly seen from this view that the Australian player lifts the ball up into the Netherlands defender and then charges into him. Two offences. This lifting the ball at and charging into is typical of the Australian play, but it can also be seen from Argentinian and Spanish teams. It's unpleasant to look at. This insistence on a technical detail, the placement of the ball on the line, was correct, but irritating to watch after the blunder he had just made in awarding the penalty corner. Cibulo scored 3 goals in this match by drag flicking the ball along the ground into the goal, which demonstrates to me that the long resistance there has been to a height limit on the drag flick is entirely without any justification. Here we have the application of a silly and unfair rule. It's not an offence to play the ball off the back line, but a penalty corner is awarded here because the Dutch player executes a tackle from a quite difficult position and knocks the ball off the pitch. A forced foot contact with automatic penalty for the contact. Here we have a series of obstruction offences. This one shielding using the leg. The tacklers dare not make any contact. Then turning position between the opponent and the ball and shunting or sideways with it, followed by another kind of lifted ball, the intentionally raised hit, which is also a foul. No penalty for any of these. Barging and manufactured obstruction by the Australian player. Although the Australian player here is permitted to receive the ball without giving obstruction, he's not allowed to use physical contact when turning past his opponent. I think this free ball is given in the wrong direction. That looks more like a physical contact offence to me rather than a dangerously played ball.